Episode 4. Was it good? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Was It Good? My name is Bob, and last night I checked out episode 4 of Shogun, The Eightfold Fence. And was it good? Yes, it was. This show continues to be very good, and it's because of the fact that it's very story oriented and character driven. These two elements are what lift this show up to a higher level. Sure, there's a few action sequences here and there that are pretty good, but it's actually at a minimum compared to the other two elements. Now, I'm sure that's probably going to change as the show goes forward, and we're probably going to see more action, but as a whole, it's those two story elements that continue to bring me back. The fact that it's story oriented and character driven. Now, I'm going to try to keep spoilers for this episode at a minimum as best I can, but I will touch on some things from the previous episodes that'll probably be more detailed. So if you haven't seen episodes 1, 2, and 3, I suggest you go ahead and see them if you are interested in this show, and then come back and check this video out. But for spoilers for this particular episode, I'm going to try to keep them at a minimum. So you have been warned. Now let's go ahead and get into the episode. The episode picks up where episode 3 left off. At the end of episode 3, we see that Toranaga has given the name Hatamoto to Blackthorne. They have this moment of mutual respect. We find out that the name means is a term of respect, and Toranaga has asked Blackthorne to train a gun regiment, and he's asked Yabushi, forgive me if I've pronounced that name wrong. He's asked this character to learn tactics from Blackthorne because he knows that war is coming because of the choices that he made in episode 3. He chose to resign from the Council of Regents, and of course, he escaped from Osaka. So the heart of the episode focuses on Blackthorne, Mariko, and Yabushi, and Nagakado. This is Toranaga's son. And so that's the center, or the plot focuses around these particular characters. And we see exactly what it means for Blackthorne to train a gun regiment and what direction that takes. We also see Yabushi's past promises to Lord Oshido come into play when an old friend shows up, and the consequences that's going to have. Overall, I thought this was a great episode. Just some of the highlights from it. One, seeing how Blackthorne reacts to being Hatamoto, I thought was kind of a highlight because there's several perks that come with it, and he gets this moment in the episode where he's got to react to everything that he's being given. And I thought that was a great moment. And we see throughout the episode what it means for him to be Hatamoto and what's expected of him in training this gun regiment. Also, Lady Mariko helps him maneuver this training, and she continues to help him maneuver this world. And the closeness that comes between the two of them and the respect that's built, I think is real interesting to see played out, and just how far that's going to go. I think the two of them continue to get some great character moments with each other, and it's those, like I said earlier, it's the character driven part of the story that I really like. And so seeing that played out, I think, is really good. Another highlight for me was the character of Fuji. This is a character who lost her husband and infant child earlier in the show because her husband had a moment of disrespect, and he made the decision to repay that disrespect, to sacrifice himself and his infant child to end his line. And so this is a character who's in mourning for her husband and infant child, and she's given a new role in this episode. And at first she's not really excited for it, but what I think is or the highlight for me with her is the lengths that she's willing to go to fulfill this role and show her sense of duty and loyalty to her lord. So I really think she has some great character moments in this episode. She gets one particular one that just made me smile, but she has several throughout the episode that I really liked. She was a highlight for me. And finally, the other highlight for me was Nagakado. Again, this is Toranaga's son. He has feelings of being disrespected. He feels like people just kind of look down on him, that people are just like, oh, yeah, we're going to get out of here. That he's just kind of there because he's Toranaga's son. He feels somewhat disrespected by his dad, but he himself has the utmost respect for his father, and he wants to try to prove himself. And so seeing the decisions that he makes throughout the episode, I think are again, are real interesting to see played out. He was also a highlight for me. The theme of the episode, or one of the themes, is this idea of the eightfold fence. And this is an idea where you can kind of go into yourself despite everything else that's going on around you. You can kind of just go into yourself, kind of distance yourself, kind of keep your feelings there. And that allows you to go on and kind of perform your duties and everything, but yet you're there kind of on the inside. And so it's interesting to see which characters are able to kind of control themselves and their emotions and which ones aren't throughout this episode. And those decisions, or those characters that aren't, they do have some dire consequences. The way the episode ended is what just blew me away. The events kind of play out one way and you're thinking it's going to go one way, and then all of a sudden, bam, it hits you with the unexpected. And that unexpected just has me excited for what's going to go, because you know it's going to have dire consequences throughout the rest of the show. And it shocked me and it's got me excited. Overall, I thought it was a great episode, and the show continues to be great. Now, maybe you saw episode 4 and you didn't like it. That's okay. Why don't you go ahead and tell me why you didn't like it? Why don't you go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below? It's fine if we disagree. All I ask is that when you leave a comment, let's not be disagreeable. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next review.